Welcome back to the Hennisphere, and welcome to your weekly Barracuda Strike update from SeaWorld San Antonio. Here is your reveal. Wow, we have a lot to talk about today. You're looking at what appears to be almost half of the layout now complete for Barracuda Strike, and it's a little interesting. At first, it looks like this is going to do the helix that I talked about a couple weeks ago, but upon closer inspection, this is still looking like my second guess is true, which is it's gonna drop, turn to the right, and go up towards the tortoise area. And let's pause here to get closer. What an incredible update we have today. The layout now is pretty much 100% confirmed. This is gonna go up, do what we saw in that teaser video at very, very fast pacing. And then it's gonna come back over here and come up this turn right here, which is insanely overbanked. Very crazy. I mean, that's almost an inversion. I mean, it looks like it's past 90 degrees. It does look like it's past 90 degrees. The crane is actually coming down right now to, I'm not sure what it's gonna do, but there are people standing down here. There's active construction going on. I believe they're gonna lift some more track pieces into place. Anyway, continuing on with the layout, after it does the turnaround over here that we saw in the video, it's gonna come back, do this very outer bank turn, and then come up into another right-hand, fairly aggressively banked turn here, and then continue down into one hill over the pathway, underneath Steel Eel, turn to the right and hit the brakes. That is the complete layout of this ride. Very, very impressive for 1,800 feet of track. The drop is bigger than expected, and these turns look super crazy for a family coaster. I'm loving it so far. We don't have any updates on the fencing here. We still see those blue things in the water. Those are probably monitoring the height, if I had to guess, of the water. And we have a lot more supports laid out. Cannot wait to see those constructed in the coming weeks. But let's get even closer. We can see the crane is about to lift a support piece into the air. Not sure where it's gonna go, but they do have another track piece here next to the crane. That is probably what they're gonna lift next. And just look at how twisted this is. I feel like the banking on this is more crazy than Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge, and Phoenix Rising. And I already know people are gonna comment on this and say, oh, it's gonna feel like Phoenix Rising. And to that, I just wanna say that I believe the pacing on this ride is going to be much better than Phoenix Rising. And because of the pacing and how fast it's taking the turns, I think the forces are gonna be a little crazier, and that is gonna make the ride smoother because it has faster pacing. I'm gonna explain all of this in a later video, but wow, check out this profile on this final turn before it goes over the Steel Eel path. Crazy profiling there on the turn. And it swoops back down sort of to the right as it comes very close to hitting the ground. Let's get an even closer look. And there goes the support piece. We'll see where they put this. They got a tagline on it. Looks like a worker is down below holding onto it so it doesn't swing. They are moving along very quickly with construction here. Again, we do not have a full layout revealed, but it is gonna come over here. We know that. They're gonna put in this window right here once they move over to this area. There's gonna be more footers, I believe. We see one or two right there. There may be more than that. And then, who knows, they may build another pathway over here to get a really good look at the ride. They've cleared a ton of land. I can't imagine that they cleared this for grass. All right, so that's what you could see last week. Now we have this big turn right here in our faces, right next to this, I don't know what you call it, the Lone Star Lake House Bar. And we're looking at where that support piece is going. They have some connection points right here. And we could see there are some other areas where the supports are gonna go. So yeah, right here, only one of those three columns have been placed in there. Yep, you can see this is gonna connect right here and the track is gonna go underneath this square part. So by the end of today, they should have at least one more track piece installed, maybe two, because I think they need to put more support columns like right here and another track piece going right here. And they're gonna work their way backwards towards that tortoise area. They are lining it up very quickly. You can see he's got some sort of bar on the underside that he's trying to fish through both sets of holes. It's kind of like a pry bar. And now he's putting a second one in. You see them pulling on the tagline. The crane is lifting this piece up further to get it lined up. They actually put what looks like a wrench through. Let's go get a view from the other side. If you guys thought that it was cool Barracuda Strike was crossing underneath Steel Eel once, how about twice? Wow, this is tight right here. This train is gonna hang like right here over this pathway, only about 20 feet off the ground. This is so cool to see. And here's that next piece that's going to be installed. I'm pretty sure it's gonna connect right here to the end of this and be attached underneath this support structure right here where they're attaching the current piece that's on the end of the crane. You can get a good view there of them in the blue man basket, getting this thing lined up. Just look at that turn. I can't imagine watching this thing go and Steel Eel at the same time. There's a bunch of the pieces down there that they still have yet to install. And I'm wondering, is this gonna have on-ride photos? If it does, where's it gonna take your picture? Now on the total backside of the ride, this turnaround in between the final brake run and the load-unload platform, there's a ton of activity going on in the station area. We can actually see that they've installed a lot of the mechanisms for locking and unlocking the restraints. And there's a lot of green things hanging underneath the track. Those are proxies. So more things that deal with verifying block zones are clear. And they're installing this silver ladder looking material on the side. That's for running cables. And if you look really closely, those white squares that are hanging underneath the track to unlock and lock restraints, they've got metal guides under them that are sometimes called fingers, but there is an electrical connection when those gold colored pieces or the fingers make contact with the top of the train. That's what sends the signal to lock and unlock. But it also verifies that restraints are locked when they're supposed to be locked, so that the control panel can then show green for locked and the train can be dispatched. The train will not dispatch unless all of those connections are made to each row, left and right side, and the harnesses are in the locked position. Now we're looking through the construction windows over here. There's nothing new with the concrete slab areas underneath the final brake run and station area, but I want to say I do think that the side with the large concrete slab that's closest to us is going to be the load side, and the opposite side where they're building what looks like the control room, I think that's going to be the unload side, but I could be wrong. Both unload and load could be on the side closest to us. I do want to mention something though that's very peculiar, something I thought about, and that is if there is a maintenance shed here, I think people wonder, well, where's the transfer track so the ride can go in there? It looks like this will not feature a transfer track. Instead, I see right here a piece of track that is completely silver. And I believe that's an area that can be taken out so that you can move whole coaster cars onto the track one by one and then couple it to form the whole train. That's my thought, because that looks very interesting that that is the only piece of silver track on the whole ride. And we can also see right here 2 cylinders which usually hold compressed air, and the backside of gray boxes that are most likely for electrical stuff, but also could be for pneumatic stuff as well. Each of the motors that you see there in the station area have a fuse box somewhere. They may be in those gray boxes above the track. Also, that piece of track that had a bunch of signatures on it is gone, so I wonder where they put it. That support column is in place and the crane has detached itself, as you can see. Someone is working on the track piece right here over the fence. I wonder if they're going to attach that next and move it. Here's your view from the Steel Eel lockers. We have a really good view of that new building that is being constructed. Should be the main control panel room. And behind it, we have the other wooden structure that is most likely a PLC/maintenance room. Behind the scenes a little bit, we have a bunch of trucks, more materials back there. But again, not too many track pieces. The only difference I'm seeing from last week is that that red shipping container is open right now. So there's probably just some equipment for the construction workers to use in there. There's either dirt or plywood over here on the left. And then way back there behind all the vehicles, I see a lot of gray materials. Could be pipes or metal frames. And as far as the stuff that's wrapped, these trucks are blocking what has already been there, but it looks like rebar. I don't see coaster trains over here just yet. Okay, that piece is installed. They have all the bolts in. And next up, they should be lowering the crane to pick up this track piece right here. Someone in the man basket is already in place. We should be seeing another track piece installed before we leave today. Now, to reiterate, the entire layout again is gonna drop, bank hard to the right, come up over land over here by the tortoise area, do exactly what we saw in the teaser video, come back through these supports right here, because you can see there are some footers that have no columns on them. I think it's gonna go right where the crane is, right through there, low to the ground, come up into the crazy overbank turn to the right, swoop back down, turn again to the right, good bank turn, flatten out, come right back down to where we see one of the lowest points right there, and then go up over the pathway to the right and hit the brakes. And I think the pacing is going to be unbelievable. I'm going to wait to see them lift this track piece into the air. They are now lifting the piece up vertically over that final run before the right turn, before the brakes. They're going to come over and then set it down into place. We can see 2 tag lines and some come-alongs that have been installed above the track piece. They have quite a lot of straps and chains in place. Now they are rotating it. Looks like they're gonna spin it all the way around, because that side on the left needs to be facing steel eel, and the other side on the right needs to be facing us. Really good execution here. They're moving so quickly. And here they come over. They're letting out a lot of slack. Yep, and here it comes down. Excellent work by this crew. They move very quickly with installing this. I want to say the people who installed steel eel were Browning Construction, I believe, or Browning Manufacturing. One of those 2 names I think is correct. And I'm sure they've done other coasters as well in the state of Texas. I'm not sure who the contractor is for this coaster, but they're doing a terrific job. I see the person in the man basket moving into position. They're kind of getting out of the way right now because they don't want to be directly underneath the piece. They're going to have to come up to the side of it. And it looks like he's getting a bucket of bolts to put in. I'm going to move to a different spot so I can get a better angle. All right, they are just a couple of inches away from getting this perfectly aligned. They've got 2 people standing, looks like on the outside of the man basket, but they are harnessed and tied off. So they're working fairly safe. They're nudging it into place. And don't forget to check out my SeaWorld San Antonio roller coaster POVs. A lot of them are on the channel. Steel Eel and Catapult Falls and Texas Stingray will be coming up over the weekend and into next week. And for the SeaWorld Orlando and the Busch Gardens Tampa roller coaster POVs, I'm going to upload all of them in one video instead of separately. So stay tuned over the coming weeks for that. And of course, guys, we are approaching 25,000 subscribers on the channel. I'm going to continue bringing you Barracuda Strike updates. The next one after this will be in 2 weeks. And next month, you'll see content from Disneyland, California Adventure, Knott's Berry Farm, and Six Flags Magic Mountain, my #1 bucket list park. Who knows, you may get a construction update out of me for Magic Mountain's 2026, or is it 2027 coaster? We don't know. That was pretty quick. I see them twisting something in place. It looks like they've got at least 1 bolt in. They've got an impact gun in hand. I'm sure it's a 1/2-inch impact. There you go. Hopefully you're able to hear that. They use the impact to tighten the connection there on the bolt and the nut. Now don't worry, I am working through the computer issues that I mentioned last week, and I'm happy to say that I have made the biggest investment in the channel's 14, 15-year history, and you're gonna be hearing all about it before January 1st. I'm also gonna catch up on posting the Six Flags Fiesta Texas vlogs. You'll see everything. I have not missed a week yet. This is week number 30, and I will be doing some live streams from Six Flags Fiesta Texas on TikTok. So make sure you keep an eye out on there, because I should be going live for at least an hour, 1 or 2 days very soon. And also, When we hit 25,000 subscribers, I'll be going live from a Six Flags park. However, I don't know which one I'm gonna pick yet, so stay tuned for that. But if you learned nothing in today's video, just remember these 3 things. No good deed goes unpunished. Subscribe to me on YouTube, and when you're feeling stuck in life, just like our friends at B&M always say, push down, pull up. That was another day in the Hennisphere.